Sesheta. This is the Sanctuary of the Spirit, and you are most welcome here this morning, wherever you are on your spiritual journey. We are here together, and God is everywhere, and this life is amazing and wonderful, and we're learning how to glow in it, how to grow through it, how to be all that we are meant to be. I welcome you. I'm so grateful for my friends here on Zoom, for my Facebook friends and my YouTube friends. One family, one life, one love. And we declare that it is all good. And so I invite you just into a moment of centering down together, giving thanks for this day and this life and this way of life. Giving thanks for the opportunity to recognize one power and presence that we call God, that doesn't care what we call it. Creator, Spirit, Father, Mother, Sister, Brother, Life, Light, Love. All is an expression of the one divine presence. And each of us is here fulfilling a divine and perfect purpose as we're growing into our knowing who we really are. Taking this opportunity to bless everyone who comes at any time, in any way, from any place. Blessing the opportunity for each of us to be the instrument that we are for the living God. Blessing our musical inspiration this morning, Arne Batson. Always, always a blessing, always a delight. Always some healing going on. Giving thanks that the word speaks itself through me in just the way that is intended, so that each one of us hears, senses, feels, and knows exactly what we came here for. For this and for so much more, I'm eternally grateful and thankful, and I just let it all unfold perfectly, rightly, and well. Blessing spiritual communities everywhere where people are gathered together in the one. We let this be so, and simply say, and so it is. Amen. Thank you, and welcome again. Welcome to you, Arne, world traveler, heart of God, voice of God, here for us. What do you have today?
Thank you, Reverend Greta. And let's start out with harvest. How about that?
Well, just speak up just a little bit, Arne.
Oh, okay. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. I can probably speak directly in the microphone.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's start with the harvest. Everyone
The
take a breath.
harvest? I love a harvest.
Let's be the harvest for the world. Let's be that. Let's all take a breath together. The blooming roses and harvest. Here we go. Time When we know what a rose knows. Now gather every man and gather every woman. Celebrate your lives and give thanks for your children. Gather everyone, gather all together, overlooking none, and knowing life will get better for the world. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We gonna know what a rose knows. Yeah, hey, when you dress me up for battle, when all I want is peace. Those of us who pay the price come home with the least. And a nation after nation turning into beast. Oh, when will there be a harvest for the world? I know I am the harvest. You are the harvest. We are the harvest. We are the harvest. Well, plant your seeds in the springtime and the harvest when it's right. We are the gardens, yes. We are those blooming roses. We are gardens of peace, and we are gardens of oneness. We are gardens of unity. We are gardens of love.
Arne, you are just marvelous. Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If anyone ever sang from their heart, you are that person. You open our hearts. Thank you. We got rosebuds flying up. Oh, wow. Isn't that wonderful? When will there be a harvest for the world? Well, we're going to claim it right now, happening right now. We get to do that, you know. Can you believe that last Sunday was Easter? Doesn't it seem like it was a long time ago? 7 days. And we were talking about, where is Waldo? And I made the suggestion that you, throughout the week, whenever you're looking, imagine that the person that you're seeing could be the risen one, could be the beloved of God. And I wondered if you remembered to do it. I mean, really, I didn't remember until about yesterday. And I tried it out. And you know, it's pretty easy for me to see the beloved disguised as the astronauts came back. It wasn't as easy for me to see the candidate running for governor that I thought I would be voting for be credibly accused of sexual harassment and worse. And it was easy for me to see my gardeners coming to mow the lawn as being the beloved in disguise. But you know, it was hard with the candidate who was running. And I found myself paying attention to how I felt about thinking about that, imagining him being the Christ disguised as this person. And I think that it's the places where it's hard. It's not like it makes an immediate difference in my life. Oh my goodness. It's like something was happening. Something was in process as I was trying my best to think of this being a possibility. I guess anything is possible. Maybe this is the Christ here disguised as this person. But it took something happened within me as I was thinking about it and just looking at him and convincing myself that this is a possibility. That we don't know how the beloved is going to show up, because the Spirit of God is everywhere, through and as everything. And so really it must be, how able are we to see it, to recognize that each of us is living this one life. Last week I was also talking about the beloved disciple that in the book of John talks about the disciple that Jesus loved the most and the disciple that loved Jesus the most, and how it was never given a name, never identified who the beloved disciple was, and how perhaps it wasn't given a name because each of us is to claim that spot as being the beloved. And that a disciple is a person that is learning and growing, and that is what we're doing. The invitation for you to fill your name in as the beloved disciple. I want to start today with a writing that I found in the Inner Visions of Agape, the daily meditation guide. Writings different practitioners write, and this one is called You, the Bodhisattva, and it's written by Mara Hayes, and I love everything that she writes. And she talks about what a bodhisattva is. If you're not aware of it, you may be a bodhisattva. In fact, I think we all are in some way in disguise. And Mara starts with a quote from this book called Feel the Golden, and it's written by Alan Levi. And the quote is, I simply help people sit still long enough to see what is already there. Nothing is what it's supposed to be if love is not at its core. So this is what Mara Hayes writes about you, the Bodhisattva. In Buddhism, there is a term for a type of an enlightened being who's committed to the enlightenment of other people. This is a Bodhisattva. It is a life that exemplifies compassion and wisdom and selfless service. A Bodhisattva shows up for others in love, in sacred attentiveness, and in the willingness to walk with others on their journeys to inner peace. Is this you? Is this me? My belief is yes and yes. It may not be our specific intention to live as a bodhisattva. However, writing and reading Inner Visions indicates an openness to our own spiritual evolution. And this openness inevitably and beautifully leads us to seek opportunities to support others as they evolve. It doesn't require a degree or a title, only a willingness to be fully present for another person. And this can happen even in a casual conversation. Steadily meeting someone's eyes can change their day. Doing so with an energy of curiosity and exchange can change their life. It's amazing how and beautiful how the simplest acts can be so meaningful. Like Theo, the main character in this book, we can choose to practice seeing people as pure potential, as potential saints. And like Theo, our focus be comes to appreciate people and nature and life itself. In this way, we're living in the Bodhisattva energy. Well, who in our lives has embodied the Bodhisattva qualities of availability and generosity of spirit? Our teachers, our friends, practitioners, or even someone that we only met briefly. It shines in their eyes, in the tilt of their head, in their non-judgmental, unconditional acceptance of us. These are our role models, our inspiration. Taking their kindness and attention to heart, we might also make the daily commitment to show up for people in such a way as a resurrection of love, of joy, and of peace. And Mara's affirmation is holding in high consciousness my intention to be a beneficial presence. The intention becomes my daily walk, and the blessings multiply and magnify. Written through and as Mara Hayes. So this Bodhisattva energy is very similar to the energy of the beloved disciple that we're claiming as our life. This sacred attention, this sacred attentiveness to something, the willingness to walk with another person, to support them, to be with them, to help them, or to even walk in their shoes. The ability to see a person as pure potential good, even when they're not looking like that to you on the outside. Well, the Bodhisattva energy and the beloved disciple energy, they're within us, awaiting our recognition, because we're made in the spiritual image and likeness of the divine. We are divine beings having this human incarnation. And this week, something really miraculous happened with the Artemis II crew that flew all the way to the dark side of the moon, the side that most people will never get to see. And they traveled farther than anybody ever has before. These 4 people, these from different backgrounds and cultures and tribes and genders and experiences, came together to make this fly me to the moon trip. And they were traveling at a speed that would have taken them 6 minutes to get from New York to California. It's not even imaginable how fast that could be. But the Spirit of God is outside of time and space. The Spirit of God is infinite presence. And it's my belief that that is where they were. They were encapsulated in timelessness. And they didn't see one country or border or barrier or check stop. They didn't see any war. What they saw was oneness, and what they saw was unity, and what they saw was this blue-green planet just floating in space that is home to this one family of spiritual beings that are having a human experience. Really amazing to think about that. What is holding us up in space? The same thing that is holding us right where we are, wherever it is that we're sitting, standing, or lying down, whatever we're doing. That presence is
Today,
everywhere.
What do you do with her? They haven't made provisions for the kids. Because I messaged Heather earlier in the week saying, are they moving?
And then, of course, another thing happened this week on a different plane, where number 47 was threatening to destroy a whole civilization of people. just like that. And it just happens to be a civilization that is one of the longest continuing cultures on this planet. Iran, originally known as Persia, and Persia is all through the Bible and the people of Persia. And this individual used profane and violent language and professes to be a leader. And we now have this very shaky ceasefire. But a ceasefire is just stop the bombings for a while. It isn't peace. And so what is it really that we are to do with all of this? These different things that are happening in the environment that makes everything appear so chaotic and out of control, and wonderful things and horrible things all thrown together. It affects us. It affects how we think and feel and move and have our being. And I think that the thing that we are called to is the Bodhisattva energy and the energy of the beloved disciple. And what they do is they go to the garden. They go to do what they are called to do. And if we go back to the story that we were talking about last week, about leading up to, after the betrayal, and Peter, one of the disciples who follows Jesus and doesn't really want to be seen, but he is seen. And someone asked him, "Aren't you one of the disciples?" And he says, "No, no." And another one, "Didn't we see you in the garden?" "No, not me. I don't know anything about it." 3 different times he was asked, and 3 different times he said he didn't know anything about it. And after the resurrection, the disciples went back to their life as fishermen, and the risen one appeared to them on the seashore. And they'd been fishing all night and hadn't caught anything, and he told them how they could put their net down on the right side of the boat, and it's filled with fish, so many that they could hardly drag it in to the shore. And someone, the beloved disciple, recognized that person that was talking to them was Jesus, was the risen Christ. And of course, again, at first they didn't recognize him the same way that Mary didn't recognize him when she first saw him, but he invited them to have breakfast right there. They had breakfast on the beach. And he began talking to Peter, and he asked him after breakfast, he said, "Peter, do you love me?" And Peter said, "Yes, I do." And so Jesus said, "Well, then feed my lambs if you love me." And he asked him a second time, and he said, "Peter, do you love me?" And Peter said, "You know I love you, I do." And Jesus said, "Then tend my sheep." And the third time he asked, "Peter, do you love me?" Peter realized it's like 3 times, just like the 3 times that I said that I didn't know him. And he asked me again. And Jesus didn't condemn him. He wasn't showing him up as doing anything wrong. He was simply teaching a lesson about, I guess it was a lesson about compassion and acceptance and love and support. And when Peter answered, "Yes, I do love you," then Jesus said, "Feed my sheep." So in a way, he was saying, take care of the people, the young ones and the vulnerable ones and the ones that are already on the path. Feed them and tend to them and support them. If you love me, do that. It's a way of you expressing your love for me. And I guess that somebody could ask me or ask you, do you love God? And if your answer would be Yes, I really do. Then help one another, serve one another, support one another, be there for one another. The Bodhisattva, the beloved disciple, they're like this energy we're talking about today, the energy of the gardener. And if you remember, when Mary first saw Jesus, she thought he was the gardener because he looked different to her and she didn't recognize. And our thought was, well, maybe she wasn't wrong. Maybe she was right. He is a gardener of sorts, of the new life that is here for all of us. And I'm thinking that it is the same thing for us, that we are here to tend to the garden of our lives. Now, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of this up and down seesaw kind of thing, and it can be exhausting. It can be overwhelming. It can make us angry, all the things, but I've got roses today. And I thought about a rose and what it knows. I guess almost instinctively. I mean, I'll share some of the things, but you just check to see if maybe some of these things are things that you inherently know, but somehow we've forgotten what we know. So a rose doesn't know anything about good news and bad news. It has no effect on it. It doesn't have to check the headlines before it can decide if it's going to open today. It doesn't wait for the conditions to be perfect for it to bloom. It doesn't wait for peace to come for it to share its fragrance and its beauty. And you know, Gertrude Stein wrote, a rose is a rose is a rose. A rose is just a rose. There's nothing that you can say about it. There's nothing that you can take from it. There's no way really that you can describe what a rose is in your sense, in your consciousness. But a rose just knows to do what it's created to do, which is to bloom and to be beautiful and to share itself. It knows how to open slowly, petal by petal. It knows how to open from the inside out. It knows how to take its own time doing it. And it knows how to just follow its own nature. It's not trying to be a cactus. It's not trying to be a daffodil. It's happy to be a rose. It's not trying to force itself open. It's not trying to refuse to open. It knows how to respond to the warmth and the light that's available to it right where it is. It's not trying to get to some other place so it can be more beautiful or more noticed there. A rose doesn't need to justify itself. It doesn't need to explain anything. It doesn't need to be compared to anything in order for it to just be itself. A rose knows something about faithfulness. A rose knows something about trusting its process, its life, that it is being cared for and it is being tended to and it is being allowed to share all that it is and all that it has. It has faith in its ability to continue to open and to continue to grow. It doesn't wait for peace, but its being is like taking a stand for peace. It's really hard to look at a rose and hate somebody. There's something about a rose that brings out the best of who we are, even if the thorns get prickly and stick us. It's very subtle, a rose is. But we just read that the way you look at somebody can make their day. The way you say hello instead of ignore somebody. The way that you regard someone can change their life. The way that you can share. The way that you can be all that you are meant to be affects my being able to be all that I am meant to be. You know, T.D. Jakes is a popular minister. He's retired now, but he said something about having a garden and working in a garden. And he said, no matter how much you water concrete, you can't grow a garden. Stop watering things that were never meant to grow in your life. Stop trying to change the world. Stop trying to stop the war. Start doing what you are called here to do. Start tending and caring for yourself. Start recognizing that what you have to be and to do and to share is precious and brings a harvest for the world. That's what we are here to do. That is what we are here to be. This is how we support the coming of the kingdom in this world that seems intent on disregarding it completely. The mystic Meister Eckhart told us that what we plant in the soil of contemplation, we will reap in the harvest of action. In other words, thoughts become things. Whatever thoughts we plant in our consciousness of love or peace or excitement or support, grow those things. And if we plant fear and dread and hate and worry, we reap those things. So the choice is ours. Nobody has control over the seeds you plant in your awareness, in your consciousness. They can offer you all kinds of things, and they will, for a price. Do this and wear this and go there, and then you'll be the rose that you want to be. But it's not true. What is true is that whatever it is that you plant within yourself is what blossoms and blooms. It can't be otherwise. It can't happen that I'm going to plant watermelon seeds and get a carrot. Well, Mary mistook Jesus for the gardener. And Jesus is the gardener. And you are the gardener. You plant the seeds and you till the soil. And you water and you weed. And you reap the harvest. What it is you desire to grow. What you're choosing to grow. What you're choosing to know. Just like a rose knows. You're the gardener of your garden. And the ground beneath you is solid ground. It's holy ground. It's sacred ground. So the suggestion for today is before all the hoopla starts and you check the headlines and all of that stuff. And there are a lot of things that we want to know about, and it's right that we do, but be sure to take just a precious moment to settle yourself, to get quiet and to walk through, emotionally, spiritually, the garden that is your life. Select the garden that is your relationship, the garden that is your health, the garden that is your family, that is your home, and tend to it, and take care of it, nurture it, and support it, so that it has an opportunity to grow in the way that it is meant to be a harvest for the world. And as you are moving through this garden, as the caretaker, as the gardener, just ask yourself these 3 questions. Ask yourself, number 1, what's doing pretty well in this garden, but it just needs a little more water. It just needs a little more of my attentiveness, of my nurturing, of my support. And then ask yourself, what is this weed doing here? This thought pattern that I have, this habit, this belief that I have in lack and in dis-ease, this relationship that is choking, taking up all the room and choking other things that are beautiful out of it. And just be aware of pulling up some of those weeds. They don't belong there. Not in your garden. I mean, some people say the weed is just a flower that's not appreciated. But a weed in your garden might be a flower in somebody else's garden, but it's your garden that we're concerned about. What are the things that you'd be willing to let go of in order to bloom and blossom in the way that you're meant to? And the third thing is to ask, what is still underground? What have I planted that I can't see yet? What dreams, what hopes, what visions for my life? I know that I've planted it, and I know that it's coming to fruition. I know that it's making its way to the surface. And give thanks for that. And bless it and give it permission to take the time and the way that it needs in order to come into your life. Now know that there will be interruptions. You know, in a garden, the interruption could be a windstorm, a rainstorm. You know, anything can happen. The telephone can ring. Some news can break. Something gets delivered right to your doorstep that you weren't expected. It's an interruption. But you don't abandon the garden. You don't get disgusted with it. You acknowledge what's coming up, but you return to the garden because that is what you're responsible for. That is what you're here to tend and to take care of, to honor. What the rose knows is how to live its life and share its gifts in its own time, in its own terms, in a way that is perfect for it. There's something in us that knows those things too. But some other thoughts have been planted that are not true. And it's our opportunity and responsibility and blessing to tend to the seeds of good that we have planted and that we are here to bring into manifestation, that we are here to harvest. So right where you are, if you just look at your hands, the back side and the palm side, and just see that these hands are purposeful. They're the hands that you use to write and to type and to cook and to wave and to hug. These are God's hands. And God has the whole world in them. And if you would just take your hands and kind of encircle the bud of a rose in your hands and just gently hold the bud of the rose and let it stand for all that you have been blessed with and all that you've been entrusted with, all that you are here to protect and to nurture, to tend to. to love. And then you might just press it into your heart. And take a breath and just let it live there. Let it be there. Know that it is there. All that you've forgotten about who you really are. All that you've forgotten about how beautiful you are. How precious you are. How responsible you are. To live and love and support and help and serve. To share your gifts. So we just take a deep breath and allow the presence of God to envelop us, the hands of God to hold us, the arms of God to embrace us. We recognize this spirit of life and love that is everywhere. Revealing itself for those with eyes to see, ears to hear, and a heart to know. Blessing this magnificent life that each of us is living. Blessing the energy of it, the rhythm of this life, the coming and the going and the ups and the downs and the ins and the outs, but the thing that is constant everywhere is this intelligence that we call God, this love that heals everything that we call God, this peace that is revealing itself everywhere, this peace that is breaking out, is the presence of God that begins in our hearts. And like the rose, we accept the gifts, we accept the tending, we accept the help. We accept the nourishment. We accept that we're blooming right where we're planted and becoming all that we are meant to be, which is a beautiful flower in the garden of light, garden of love, garden of life. We take the opportunity to bless everybody, to bless life everywhere. All of the goings and comings and ins and outs and ups and downs, all of it, knowing that the presence of God, the life of God, the truth of love is being revealed everywhere, regardless of how it might look like, regardless of how it might be presented to us. God is all, and God is good. We speak this word for one another as we are going through things. Speak this word for one another as we are releasing loved ones to the other side. Speaking this word for those of us who are transitioning to the other side. Speaking this word for those of us that don't have enough to eat or a place to sleep, a place to play, a place to be. Speaking this word knowing that God is more than this. God is more than this temporary experience. God is love, and God is real, and God is here, and God is now. And this is what we know, and this is what we celebrate, and this is what we give thanks for. Our head is not in the sand, it's in the sky. Our eyes are on the mountaintop, and we see the love of God revealing itself everywhere. And we give thanks for this. This is what we know. Good times, bad times come and go. This is what we know. God is real. Love is eternal. And nothing is ever lost. So we rejoice in this. We get out of the way and let it happen. We let it be. We simply say, and so it is. Amen and Ashe. Hallelujah. Arne is here. What do you have for us, Arne?
Wow, Reverend Greta. That was something else. Reminding me, first time I traveled to Singapore, all along the sides of the roads, everywhere you go, there are just orchids.
Say that again.
Traveling throughout Singapore,
Yes.
one time, just all along the sides of the roads, just
Yes.
orchids, all kinds
Orchids.
of incredible orchids. And we're ooh and ah, and the folks there think they're weeds.
It's what?
The folks there in Singapore see them so much they're considered weeds.
Oh, weeds. Oh,
Yes.
my.
So when you're saying someone's weeds,
Yes.
it immediately took me there.
Right.
We were, oh my God, this kind of orchid, that kind of orchid. And you're like,
Wow. That's amazing, Arne.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. Wow, beautiful message, Reverend Greta. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's send some love. Let's send some love. And generally when folks receive roses, that's a sign of love. And so we all get our roses right now. Let's take a breath, please. She knows it with a flower from your heart. Show him your love. Don't hold back your feelings. You don't need a reason when it's straight from the heart. I've heard so many say that the days of romance are no more, and people falling in love is so old-fashioned. But waiting are they the day they once let slip away, hiding needs to fulfill their heart's desire for love's passion. Send them your love with a dozen roses. Make sure that they know it with a flower from your heart. Show them your love. Don't hold back your feelings. You don't need a reason when it's straight from the heart. Yeah. I know that people say two hearts beating as one is unreal and can only happen in make-believe stories. But so blind they all must be that they cannot believe what they see. For around us miracles are of love's glory. As a rose, what a rose knows.
Send them our love. Thank you, Arne. There's nothing like a rose. Each of us is special, unique, and wonderful. Here to share, here to bloom, here to blossom. Thank you, Arne. We love you. Well, I do want to thank you for coming today, for participating. This is the time that I thank you for all that you've shared, all that you've given, all the ways that you support this ministry, telling people about it, sharing it on social media, sending your tithes, your gifts, and your offerings. I appreciate everyone. Everyone makes a difference. And I shared last time that I do tithe on the offerings that are shared, and so when you're sharing with me, you're sharing also with others. But I also find that whenever I'm tithing, I always have enough. It's a funny thing, but the way that the law of circulation works is that the more that you give, the more that you receive. But we're not giving so that we receive. We're just giving because we have received. And because there's something in us that innately wants to share and wants to support. And all that you support, you receive more of. So that if you're supporting something that supports you, then you have more support. Thank you so much for sharing and for being here, for being part of this ministry. I'm sure there will be interruptions this week in the truth that you know for yourself. I'm sure there'll be more headlines and revelation of a lot of good things and a lot of things that don't feel good and don't look good. But we are here for God, and we are here to bloom and blossom right where we are. And our blooming and blossoming makes a difference. One rose makes a difference. One look makes a difference. Your life makes a difference. It supports my life. It makes my life better when you're shining your light, when you're sharing your gifts. If you need some extra support, I'm here for prayer, for listening, for sharing. Please email me with any requests that you have for things you'd like me to talk about or share about, or activities that this ministry can be involved in. revgreta@me.com is the email address. My website, revgreta.com, where you can learn more about the ministry and more about the opportunities that exist. I am here for you. I am going through things too. We all are. But we're together. And we know God. And that makes a difference. Thank you, those of you that have written in the chat box and the comment boxes. I read everything. As soon as the service is over, I go through everything. Thank you, my friends here on Zoom. Thank you, people on Facebook. Thank you on YouTube. I appreciate you. I love you. I thank God for you. There are a lot of little things for me to kind of keep all together here, but I'm happy to, and I'm glad to see you all. There's my Sachi. I didn't know she was here. I'm so happy to see you, my Sachi. Sylvia, I called you twice. I left messages. I thought I was so worried about you, and here you are. Thank God. Call me back. Allegra and Wendy, Tanya and Susan, Norma Monet, Gogo. Thank you, Arne. God bless you. Have a wonderful week. We'll be together next Sunday. We're praying for each other. I'm praying for you, and I appreciate your prayers for me. Thank you. See you next time.
You. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.